What in the world did Barack Obama do for black men during his 8 years in office that would give him the audacity to think that he can scold and chastise black men on account of Kamala Harris? For some strange reason, the Harris team, they thought that the way to reach a core voting bloc was to have the great Messiah come down and to chastise us, to come down to this particular voting block for a candidate that has done nothing for us. I say us because the voting block in question is the black male voter. Now, Kamala Harris and the Democrat, they're feeling this very gigantic pinch that's being brought onto the party from black male voters. And this is black male voters of all ages, all different sectors of the black male vote is leaning toward the Republican Party. They're leaning toward Donald Trump at this particular moment. Why are so many black men leaning toward the way of a Donald Trump presidency? I'm going to tell you why. It's because black men, we are not satisfied with what we have been seeing coming out of the Democratic Party. Now, let's go back to President Barack Obama's time in office, that 8 years that he spent in office doing nothing for us, doing nothing for the black male voter, doing nothing for the black family, nothing for black males or females. Now, when I look at the presidency of Barack Obama, the things that he missed out on, the problems with his presidency is, for number one, he did not focus on strengthening the black family. I'm talking about the black nuclear family. Part of that problem was Obama, he spent most of his time trying to open doors for this non-traditional family structure, opposed to focusing on the nuclear family structure, the family structure that has been proven over generations to work. So he spent his time on a global scale trying to push an agenda even on countries that did not want that agenda, that are not prepared or ready for that particular agenda, just because of America has positioned itself to be ready for that agenda. This is an agenda that America had just started to accept on a wide scale, and now they have tried. They spent countless years, especially during the Obama administration, to push that agenda on other countries. And I would say they really tried to focus on countries that didn't have the strength that a country like America had, because there were other countries like Russia. There were countries like Middle Eastern countries, Iran and Afghanistan, that did not accept the LGBTQ agenda, and they did not try to push it on those countries. They did not try to sanction terrorists on those countries like they did on countries such as Uganda, such as Ghana. So they kind of want to use their bully pulpit to look at countries that didn't have the strength to push this agenda of a non-traditional family, the same way they have tried to do in more so in the black community in America. So they really spent a lot of effort to push this non-traditional family up on the American people. Now, the importance of this is when we look into the numbers and we see what's going on with the black family, what's going on with the black male vote, this is really going to tie into that. Because what I did is I took a look at how was the economy for black men during the Obama administration. What I look at first was the unemployment rate. So I'm going to go over these numbers with you. I have my notes, so I'm going to take a look at my notes. When it comes to the unemployment rates, we're going to go from 2008, that's when Obama first took office, up to 2020, that's when President Donald Trump left office. So in 2008, the black unemployment rate was at 16.4%. It dropped in 2009 to 14.8%. Then it rose again in 2010 to 18.4%. 2021, we saw the all-time high during this particular time frame. In 2011. So in 2011, we saw a 22.6% increase in black unemployment. In 2012, we did see a decrease down to 13.8%. 2013, it was at 13.1%. 2014, it went to 11.3%, followed by 2015 at 9.5%. Those are the years that President Obama held the Oval Office. Now, when Donald Trump came in office, then we saw in 2016 8.2%, 2017 7.5%, 18 5.9%, which was an all-time low. 2019 we saw a 6.6% of black unemployment. Now, keep in mind, this next number is 2020. This is when we had the global pandemic. This is during the COVID outbreak. So unemployment went up for every group. So for black males, it did increase to 11.4%. So that was the highest during the Trump administration. So now that is important because when we look at the Obama administration, we look at numbers, and that's what black men are looking at. We're looking at numbers. We're looking at, did we fare better during the Obama administration? Did we fare better during the Trump administration? And from these numbers, it shows you clearly that unemployment for black men was much better under Donald J. Trump than it was under President Obama. So that's very important because those are the things that Kamala Harris need to look at in campaigning to black males. She has to put together a strategy strictly for this particular voting bloc. The exact same she do for women when she's talking about women reproductive rights. And that's a great strategy. She go in directly. She talked to them about things that are important to them. Abortion seems to be the leading topic. Then you have birth control, you have IVF. So you have various topics as it relates to women's health. And that's going to garner those women voters. And that's how you're supposed to position yourself with a particular voting bloc. Now, the problem is when it comes to the black male vote, they have not positioned themselves to talk directly to the black male voters. When it comes to foreign affairs, they're talking directly to Israel. They're talking directly to Ukraine. They're telling them exactly what they could do for that particular group. When it comes to the Jewish community, they're talking directly what they could do for that group. When it comes to the LGBTQ community, they are being very precise. Matter of fact, Governor Tim Walz, he spoke in front of the Human Rights Commission, and he was very clear. He said that Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, that their White House, their number one foreign policy issue is going to be LGBTQ issues. It's going to be the LGBTQ rights is their number one foreign policy issue. So no matter if other nations accept or agree with that particular agenda, that's what they're that's what they are going to try to push on other nations. And I'm sure it's going to be those nations that don't have the strength to fight for themselves as much as those other nations that do have the strength to fight for themselves. So they're going to put sanctions on those nations. So we're going to see a lot of sanctions coming out of African nations and some Asian nations that don't have the strength of a China. We're going to see a lot of sanctions, a lot of restrictions. They're not going to accept those immigrants to come into the country. So that's what we're going to see from this Harris-Walz administration as it relates to their foreign policy. We're going to see a lot of wars. We've seen with the Biden administration that they love to fund wars. They're funding the Ukraine war, putting a lot of U.S. tax dollars behind the Ukraine war. The same thing that they're ready, they're positioning themselves with this Israeli war. So that's what we're going to see out of this Harris-Walz administration. A lot of black men, they're not for that. We want to see things done on the ground in our own community. And that's what we're not seeing. That's where the Biden Harris administration had failed at. That's where the Obama administration had failed at. Now, I also look at the poverty rate from 2008 up into 2020. This is something else that's very important for black men. Now, this is the overall poverty rate for the black community. This is not just for black men. So when we look at 2008, the poverty rate was at 22%. 2009, it was at 22.7%. In 2010, it went to 24.1%. 2011, it was the highest at 24.2%. Then 2012, it went down to 23.7, 13, 22.4, 2014, 22.9, 2015, 21.1%, 2016, this is when Donald Trump took office, it went to 19%, 2017, 18.9%, 2018, 17.7%, 2019, 16.3%, and 2018, even during COVID, during this global crisis, the Black poverty rate dropped to it was at 16.8%. So those are things that are very important for Black men. Black men are worried about how we're going to take care of our family, how we're going to take care of our community, how we're going to contribute to the next generation. Those are things that Black men are worried about. We're not worried about the word salads. We're not worried about the feelings of joy and hope. That's not what we're worried about. We're not going out every day, leaving our homes, going to our jobs, going to our businesses, thinking about joy. That's not even on our mind. We're not in the streets, in the field, in the battleground, thinking about joy. We're thinking about how are we going to provide for our family? How are we going to make income? How are we going to bring home the bacon to our households to take care of our wives and our kids, to take care of our loved ones, to take care of our aging parents. Those are the things that are on our mind. We know as Black men, we don't have the safety nets that Black women have, that white women have, that other communities have. We don't have those safety nets. We know our safety net lies in our hands. It lies in us getting up off our butt, going to a job, starting a business, building up community, building up something for ourselves. That's our safety net. So that's what we need these candidates to speak with us about. That's what Kamala Harris, if she want our vote, is she have to earn our vote. And that's the way to earn our vote. The issues that are plaguing Black men, of course, is education. When it comes to education, we have the lowest graduation rates. That's just the numbers. That's the statistics. We have the lowest number of college graduates. We have the highest number of high school dropouts. So those are things that need to be addressed. One of the key ways to address education for Black males is to promote the nuclear family. Statistics shows that when Black men, Black boys grow up into a household with their biological mother and their biological father, they have a far greater chance of graduating. They have a far greater chance of eradicating poverty. They have a greater chance of not being a victim of crime, not being a perpetrator of crime, perpetrator of violence against others. Those are the opportunities that we give young Black boys when we focus on the nuclear family. I actually look at the numbers. So we could play the games of love is love and everybody should have the right to love who they want to. Everybody, we could go with those games, but when we look at the numbers, I actually did the research and study. It shows that when a child grows up in a non-traditional family, if a child grows up in a family where there's two fathers, if a child grows up in a family where there's two mothers, if a child grows up even in a family where there's a step parent, that child has a higher probability of becoming a juvenile delinquent. This is the statistics. This is not my numbers. So we can no longer be scared to stand up and say what is reality. I know that this will be censored. I know that this is not the popular thing to say. I know that many people will say, "Oh well, you're ridiculing people for their own choices." I'm talking about the effects it has on the children and the effect it have on the community. I'm not making these numbers up. These are the statistics that has been done through countless research. So don't come at me, come at the studies, come at the statistics. So when a child grows up in that type of environment, They're more emotionally disconnected. They're more likely to be perpetrators of crime. They're more likely to drop out of school. They're more likely to become promiscuous when you're talking about young ladies. So they're more likely, male or female, to start partaking into alcohol or drugs. If this is what we want for our kids, if this is what we want for our future, then yes, let's continue to promote what Obama promoted. This is from Obama's administration. Obama was matter of fact, they labeled him, which magazine? I think it was Time magazine, labeled him the first gay president. This is a black man that had a black wife and two children, and they want to label him the first gay president. That was humiliating. That was a shame, and that was just pure propaganda to further spread this message. So when we're talking about the black community, when we're talking about the black male vote, these are real issues. A lot of people are going to be scared to talk about this, but I'm going to go out on a limb as a man. I'm going to stand up and talk about these things because these issues affect the black family. This affects black people. And this is what we have to talk about if we're going to be transparent. If we're going to be real, let's keep it all the way real. So this is why we're lagging in things such as education. Then we have a problem with upward mobility. That's where we can move up in the world. Yeah, maybe we grew up in poverty, so now the next generation, they have a leg up. Then the generation after that have a greater leg up. But we're lagging behind in upward mobility in as far as any other group. Black men, we're usually stuck in poverty when we grow up in poverty. And one of the biggest contributors to a person staying in poverty is growing up in a broken home. We know that the black community, that 72% of black children grow up in a single family household. So we have to look at the truth. We have to look at the root causes, and we can no longer sugarcoat it if we do not focus on the nuclear family, which I know for sure, I can say with 100% certainty that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will not focus on the nuclear family. They are going to focus 100% on non-traditional family. They're going to focus on the LGBTQ families. That's what they're going to focus on. They're going to focus on single family households. That's good for somewhat the economy when you have a single family household, because now opposed to two adults living in one household, all the contributions go to that household, go to that family. Now you're going to have two different houses. So now you got to pay two different mortgages, two different rents, two different utilities. You're going to have two different motor vehicles, pay two different grocery bills. So yeah, that feeds into the economy. That's why they push that. But when we want a stronger economic base for our family, then you got to look at a two-family household where all of those things come to one household. Now you have one grocery bill. You have just that one set of utility bills. You have that one mortgage or that one rent. You have that one set of mortgage insurance. All of those things become singular opposed to double when you're looking at a nuclear family structure. So that's what we need to focus on. That's what this administration needs to focus on. It's going to help eradicate crime also in our community. We know that when there's a black man, in particular the biological father in the home, we know that that child is less likely to go out there to commit crimes. Let's focus on the real deals. Let's look at the real numbers, the real statistics. Now, then you have earnest. Earnest is another issue for black men. Black men typically on average earns $378 a week less than white men and $125 a week less than white women. That is a huge issue. Is this an issue that Kamala Harris is going to address? This is an issue that has to come out if you want to focus your attention on black male voters. Now, I say this because I know a lot of people are going to say, what about Donald Trump? Is he going to focus on that issue? Now, the difference between the Donald Trump campaign and the Kamala Harris campaign is Donald Trump is not running off of identity politics. He's not trying to say, vote for me because I'm a white male. Kamala Harris and her team, Barack Obama just said we should vote for Kamala Harris because she's a black female. And he tried to chastise black males, saying black men are scared to vote for a female. Why did he not come at white men and say, white men, you are scared to vote for a female? He would not disrespect white men like that. He have an allegiance to white men and a respect and a certain utterance from white men that he would not talk to him like them like that. Why did he not talk to Indian men? Why did he not talk to East Indian men and say, hey, East Indian men, you guys need to vote for Kamala? Are y'all scared to vote for a female? Why did he not say that to Asian men? Why did he not say that to Hispanic men? Why would that direct it straight to black men? Black men, we are doing our homework. We're doing our studies. We're looking at the numbers. We're looking at the Obama administration. What did that do for the black family? What did that do for black men? So if you did not address other men like that, don't come to us and address us like that. Address us the same way you address or respect us the same way you respect other men. Respect us as well when you respect other groups. Now, white women are not voting for Kamala Harris in droves. They're splitting their votes. You have white women that's voting for Trump, white women that's voting for Harris. Now, why can black men not be the same? Why can we not split our vote? 50% of black men might go for Harris. 50% of black men might go for Trump. That's fair. It's our vote. Isn't this a democracy where every person have the right to vote for who they choose to vote for? Isn't that what we preach for America? So Obama, are you being undemocratic when you're saying that we are afraid to vote for a woman because vote for Kamala because she's a woman, that we should vote for her because she's a black woman? Isn't that undemocratic? Isn't that what we're preaching? So we can't allow you to come at us like that. The way you come at us legit. You come at us talking about the issues that's important for us. I'm telling you the issues that's important for us. We're worried about the economy. The economy is important for black men. The border is important for black men. We want a secure border so that illegal migrants won't come that are unvetted, those that have criminal records coming into our community, and they're harming our women, they're harming our daughters. That's something that we're worried about. That's something that we're worried about. So if that's not what you're addressing, then don't even come to us. Obama, this is not your fight. If what you need to do, opposed to fighting black men, you need to address with Kamala Harris what she needs to do to attract black men. That's what you should be doing. You should be addressing Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party and letting her know what she can do to attract black men. You're a black man. Tell her what you want. Tell her what you need. Is this how you want anyone to talk to you, Obama? Do you want somebody to be condescending to you, talk down on you? Well, we don't want that either. So now, in order to gain the black vote, talk to us about the criminal justice system. We are disproportionately overrepresented in the prison system by a factor of 5. Yeah, I'm not saying those that are out committing crime. Yeah, there's some that's in our community that's committing crime, but there are those that are falsely accused. That's just a reality. And how do we eradicate those of us that are committing crime? Once again, it goes back to strengthening the nuclear family. If we focus on strengthening the nuclear family, if we focus on that message, as much as you guys put out the message of the LGBTQ community, as much as you put out the message of love is love, you guys spend countless of billions of dollars spreading that message. If you took that same money and you allocated those funds toward promoting the nuclear family to the black community, that propaganda will spread and black people will start having pride and want to be with one another. I guarantee you that. Propaganda is real. Many people don't understand these messages that you push. They don't understand it's to desensitize us so that we can start believing in that message. And then now it make people feel guilty. Now people feel so guilty. It's crazy. A grown man has to call another grown man a woman. Otherwise, he's going to feel bad. He's going to feel ashamed. I'm not. I'm not going to call another man a woman. I won't. I'm not going to be forced to be a liar. I'm not going to allow you to force me to take away my dignity and look at a man, a grown man, and say, yes, ma'am. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And no, that's not me disrespecting that man, because it truly is a man. It's not me disrespecting him. It's me respecting him. It's me giving him so much respect that he's not even giving himself. Me saying, yes, sir. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I teach my sons. My 4-year-old and 6-year-old, if they come home and tell me that they call a man a woman, oh, no, it's not happening. Not in my household. No, you call that man a man. You show that man respect. Even if you don't respect himself, you show him respect. If it's a woman born as a female, she's always a female to me. I'm going to respect her as the female that she is. I'm not going to be disrespectful to her. I'm not going to call her a man. I won't disrespect that woman like that. And that's the truth. That's the politics that you guys are pushing. Use those same funds, that same budget that you're allocating to push that propaganda. Use that to push the nuclear family. People fall for this propaganda. So imagine if you spend all that time and all that effort promoting the nuclear family to people, how we would eradicate crime, how we would eradicate poverty, how we would eradicate violence. That's what we need in America. That's the reason why I can't support Kamala Harris. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I can't support Kamala Harris. I'm going to go with Trump for this election. Next election for 2026, or I'm sorry, we're in 24 for 2028. I'm going to invite the Democrats to put together a strategy to attract me, a male voter. I'm very open to it. I'm not giving my allegiance 100% to one party or the other. But at this point, I'm 100% giving my vote to Donald J. Trump because I believe that he has the ability to strengthen the economy. And that's going to help my family. That's going to help me take care of my beautiful wife and my children. That's going to help me to take care of extended family members. I believe that Donald J. Trump is going to secure the borders. That's going to give me a sense of security within my household. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. So if you guys found any value from this video, please drop a comment. What do you guys think about Obama's approach to black men? Do you think that he's been disrespectful to black men? What do you guys think he did for the black community? How do you think he advanced the black community his 8 years in office? Do you guys think that Kamala Harris is projecting a message to black men that will garner the black male vote? Please leave that in the comments. Let me know. Now, I'm going to ask you guys to do me one favor. If you gain value from this video, please like it, leave that comment, share it, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. I want to grow this channel because I want to get out a message from someone who's not afraid to speak the truth, who's not afraid to say those things that they're trying to censor us from saying. These are things that are important that's going to help us save our community. My mission is to save our community through this message. So if you like this video, there's another video up here on the screen, and this video is very important. Take a look at this video, and it's going to tell you the things that are very pressing over the next 22 days of this election and what we need to do to get out the vote, to make sure that we have the right leader in the White House. Thank you for joining me, and until next time.